3,000.
What is doing? I hate doing it, but I'd like everyone to like, subscribe, share the content. Sharing is really important. If you like the content that I'm bringing you with the 3,000 podcast, you want to help us grow, make sure you do all that stuff. Follow us on Instagram, like, subscribe, share, do all that good shit. Now to the episode.
3,000.
Like, there's a thing now where people will liquid nails old shoes up on drain walls and things like that, and sort of an art type thing.
Right.
And I sort of got into that, so I've been getting all my... This last Saturday, there's a new group, they've been around for a year, they're called the Tunnel Toads. And they're basically a new cave clan.
In Melbourne?
Yes, in Melbourne. And last Saturday, they had their awards night called the...
Their version of the Clannies.
Yes, their version of Clannies, which are the Golden Toads, which I went along to.
As a special guest, as an honorary toady?
Yeah, I've met them a few times and I've done a few drain walks with them. At the end of the awards, they pulled out a shoe that I'd left tied to their car after I'd been in drain, just stinking drain shoes that I tied onto one of their cars because I left a bit before them. Anyway, that was like 6 months ago. Well, they've pulled this shoe out, they've painted it gold and presented it to me. And then Rusco's son, so Rusco is a guy who's been in the cave clan since 1989.
Yep.
1990. So
Which
he's
is only in its first early few years.
Yeah, that's right, the early days. See episode 9 for more information. I told you I wasn't going to do that. And then, so his son is now in the cave, or he's sort of affiliated with Cave Clan, but he's in the Tunnel Toads. Yeah, and he actually did a shotgun, whatever you call it.
Shoey.
The shoey, yeah, that's it, with my old painted gold drain shoey.
That had been in the drain for 6 months or so. Tied to a car.
Yeah, tied to a car and taken home and kept especially for, we'll save this shoe for one day. We'll be able to do something. And
you're a big fella, Dougo, so I reckon you've got a size 13 or 14 shoe.
I have.
There you go, it is big. Look at that. What size is it?
That's 15.
15?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So there was plenty to drink if he filled up his old can. But anyway, this is a Liftomatic.
Yeah.
So these changed urban exploring too, because Rusco, who I mentioned earlier, is Rusco, whose son is now a second generation explorer. Rusco, I'm presuming he based it on something, but he was the first to make them. And this one is made by a guy in Sydney called Drain Bandit, or DB. He makes them and he leaves them hanging in drains in Sydney, and other things. He's really into. He just gets scrap metal and makes them. He sent me this one because the previous one, when I was flying up to Brisbane, the Tullamarine confiscated it because they thought it was a weapon.
It'd be heavy, man.
Yeah, have a feel.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, you could hurt someone with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So this is used to open latches and things like that?
Yeah. So what you would generally do is... And the original ones, the Liftomatics, which I call these Liftomatics, I don't know what DB calls them. We originally called them Liftomatics. They were a bit lighter, and you would put... So if you're with 4 of you, and there was a big square manhole, and they'd have the 4 holes in a corner, depending how jammed they were, so you would hammer it, and you'd crack the seal.
Uh-huh. Because they expand, obviously, with heat and everything.
Yeah, and then depending how heavy it is, sometimes you can rip them off with one, or you might have 2, 1 in each hand, but then sometimes they're really jammed, so you might have someone else. But so they'd get the manholes off. That changed things. That made getting into drains a lot easier.
And he's leaving them in drains for other explorers to find. In
Sydney, I don't know if he still does that. I was going to say get him on the podcast, but he's Sydney. You'd have to do the 2000 podcast.
Oh, that's all right. We're expanding.
Yeah, I've heard you. Yeah.
You got to grow.
I've been listening.
A lot of it is just become camaraderie, and the exploring's a bit of a second.
Oh, that's a big part of it. Yeah, like if you like when we went to Tassie recently, into Hobart only, we didn't go to the rest of Tassie, just to Hobart. We did the main drain is so good. We did it like 3 or 4 times. And
what makes it so good?
Well, it's like made out of sandstone and different types of brick.
What's it called?
Hobart Rivulet or Hobart Darkie, but it's pretty cool and it's got lights. It's lit up.
Yep.
They actually used to hold tours through it. I think because of insurance went through the roof, they had to stop doing it. So that's why it's got lights in it, and just doesn't. It takes you like 30 minutes to walk through it, and it just changes continuously. It's full of artwork all the way through now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a really good. It's the best. I say it's the best tunnel in Australia because I don't get to Hobart that often. I guess if I lived in Hobart and you did it all the time, but there's only like 3 drains in Hobart worth doing, and 2 of them are basically the same one. They're just a little gap between them. And we went to
Mona.
Yeah, we went to Mona. We spent a day there, had a few drinks there.
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it's good.
It's interesting how the biggest tourist attraction there is something that is like individually owned. It's not like but it is cool. I've only been there once.
Yeah, no, that was my first time. But and in between that, just drinking, like catching up, and so it is definitely the comradeship. You know what I'm trying to say?
Camaraderie.
Yeah, that one. But when we go to Sydney, I sort of organised a get together with any Sydney people that want to come and basically say goodbye, I guess, and say hello to us.
So you're saying this is your last sort of tour doing them?
I think of Sydney it will be.
Yep.
Only because like when we went up with those guys I was mentioning, Green Beans, and that, we went up to Brisbane. We had an awesome time. We just walked along. We did do a drain, and we just walked along Brisbane River. Went to a couple of these cool bars. Got to another drain, did that, and then and that was basically what we did in Adelaide, what we did in Hobart, and so it's quite, whereas Sydney, I just find it a lot harder. Like Hobart, I don't know how people live in Hobart. I love Hobart. Like I love Tassie. I would have loved to have lived in Tasmania, but the Hobart City, the CBD, it's like everyone would be fit. No, there'd be no heart attacks here because, you're forever walking up and down hills.
Yeah.
But, Hobart's awesome. Yeah, and I was doing my other zines. Like I used to do a zine called Get Fuck Pull My Dick.
Great name.
And
what was that about?
It was just, I guess me just whinging about things that used to shit me. Like it was a bit political in parts, and then stupid stuff like us going to pubs, and so I had a lot of guys vomiting type stuff. Crime. It had a lot of. Also, I had this book that was like all brutal crime scenes. This guy died in America, and they found these books that he had from when he was a cop, all from murder scenes and that.
Homicides and stuff.
Yeah, but old school, and I'd have a page of them each issue. So it was a bit graphic, and then I just had friends that would give me crime stuff like that. The Father's Day biking massacre in Sydney. I got all these photos from them, all the bikies dead, like morgue shots, and so it was all just weird stuff like that. The name comes from, there's a mini series called Blue Murder about police corruption in New South Wales in the 80s, because it was going through the courts and all that. It was banned, so you could get it down here. And there's a line in it where they're trying to talk the guy into something. He says, "Pull me dick, mate, get fucked." And so, but back in those days, there was magazines like FHM for him mainly, so it was based on those sort of magazines. And but get fucked, mate, pull me dick didn't look as good as get fucked, pull me dick, mate. So it's GFPMD. There was one issue we did a religious one where we just got all these religious flyers and that, and instead of get fucked, pull my dick, it stood for God frequently performs miracles, dude. And it was just all stuff about the Bible, but yeah, no, I had a lot of fun doing that shit. But
before you pull that stuff out, do you want to just move that beer out of the way so we can have a look? That's all right.
And we'll eventually all be gone over. I don't even tag in drains anymore. I do like one little tag, and normally so I just do like that. I just take a photo of it. And when I've been doing my last drains, I've been writing Dougo's last visit to whatever drain.
So you really are going to hang up the boots, you reckon?
So many
I feel like you couldn't stop though, man.
No. So I'll explain it here now. Anytime someone asks me this question, I'm going to say, watch the podcast.
Okay, that's good. More views. I love it.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm just at that age, and I'm not like a little fit, healthy guy like yourself. I just figure that at some stage something's going to happen. I'm going to have a fucked knee, or, you know. So while I'm still able, I'm doing my John Farnham end of the road tour.
Yep.
So I'm doing, and it's going to take me another year or so to do. So I'll end up, late 50s. Then I want to do a podcast thing with the guys, which I'm guessing that'll take me a year or two of my spare time, because I'm only talking about spare time.
Yeah.
Which is
can't be a full-time drain enthusiast.
Yeah. So I'm only doing things in my spare time, and then by then I'll be like, late 50s. But I'm still going to go. Like if you contacted me and said, "Oh, do you mind taking me and this bloke?" I'm still going to do stuff like that. I'm just doing everything for the last time, and then what happens after that? I'm not allowed to go in drains anymore. I'm just, I'll just cut it back. I'm like, I won't be shooting all these videos that I shoot. And
is there anywhere in Australia that you haven't hit the drains that you want to? I'd say you would have done a lot of them.
I haven't done Perth because a lot of them didn't get found until later, but they're quite hardcore. Like the outlets are flooded or underwater, and you've got to get in through manholes, and the manholes are awkward. And
is there a drain community over there though?
There's a little one, yeah. There's a small one, like 3 or 4 cave clan people, and then there's I don't know, but there are non-cave clan people over there too. But I'm not real. I can't imagine I'm gonna do that. But yeah, no, I haven't been to Darwin to explore drains. There's only a couple there. Plus, crocodiles and all.
You got to watch out for them.
Yeah, well, some of the drains are flooded, so I'd be paranoid. I've done all the other states, and once I do Sydney, depending on the weather, if I get like 4 good days, I'll probably do. I won't do all the ones I want to do because they've got a lot more up there that are pretty good, but I'll get enough done. I might go back to Sydney one more time, but.
Then I want to ask you about the Albert Park Lake experience.
Oh, yeah.
Because my grandparents, I grew up around the corner from there, and I've fallen in that lake before as a kid, but I didn't even know the drains. Like, obviously there's a drain there, but I wouldn't even know where the drains or how the drains work there. Tell us about the Albert Park Lake drains. Because it's not that deep.
No.
I fell in.
Oh, it's not even.
No, and it's just a big concrete pool.
So what I'm about to explain, they've now put a wooden deck over it that goes out maybe... I haven't seen a deck, so that gets in the way of what I'm about to tell you. But basically, at the south end of the lake, there were these slits, and they were probably, 30 centimetres wide. And when the lake overflowed, it would just overflow into these slits, and there was probably about 5 or 6 slits.
Yep.
And
like an infinity pool type scenario. So it just overflows and then flows in. Yeah. Yeah,
so it overflows into that, and then it goes all those slits flow into a pipe or rectangular tunnel, and then that goes through that into a bigger one, which is still pretty small, and then it flows out. There's an open section near the light rail, and then it went through to the beach. You wouldn't go all the way through to the beach. You just get in at the light rail, and it's a pain in the ass. You've sort of got to crawl a lot of the way. You don't get wet when you're crawling through the tunnel, but you've got to crawl for like 15, 20 minutes. But then you're coming into the tunnel, you come up to the slits, and then you're basically looking out at water level. As you're crawling through, you can hear Grand Prix cars coming through side pipes, which is pretty cool. I've actually got an audio sample of it somewhere. And you just go through this tunnel, going past the side pipes and they're fucking loud. That was my favourite part of the thing, hearing them through the side pipe. And then you get to the slit, and the way we used to do it was you put one leg out into the water, and as you said, it's not very deep. I think it was like shin deep there. And then you reach around onto the footpath and you pull yourself up, but you've got 1 foot stand, to keep on the ground, and you just slide yourself out. So you'd end up with wet up to the knee, but the rest of you would be dry. You look like you're trying to start some kind of new trend when you're walking around all with like one wet knee, like 5 of you, one wet knee went up to your knee, like when they used to leave the strap hanging off there, whatever. The thing that was good was, was when Kiss played at the Grand Prix one night, and we went a few of us went through, did the whole thing, crawled through, got in, got the one wet leg, and got to see Kiss play